This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. Now let's talk about it, man. Those that are sitting here saying that the Los Angeles Clippers are done. I'm going to quote Roger Mayweather. Now I know this sport has nothing to do with basketball, but in the great Roger Mayweather term, you don't know shit about basketball. Let me say it again. You don't know shit about basketball. Here's the cold-hearted, here's the unadulterated, and here's the cutthroat true teller fashion. When we look at the Los Angeles Clippers, they are not flippers. They are not frauds. They are not a fraudulent team. This has happened before in basketball. See, this is what Hino Sport was talking about when he said that people are prisoner of the moment, or they associate themselves in prisoner of the moment fiasco. Let me say it again. This is what Hino Sport was talking about when he said people are prisoners of the moment, or they fall in what we call prisoner of the moment fiasco. Again, here's the cold-hearted, here's the unadulterated, and here's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. The truth of the fact of the matter is this, and it's as simple as this. The bottom line is this. When we look at the Los Angeles Clippers, they are doing the same thing that you guys have seen the Boston Celtics have done. They're doing the same thing that you guys have seen that the Los Angeles Lakers have done. They're doing the same thing that you guys have seen that the Golden State Warriors have done. They're doing the same thing that you guys have seen that the Los Angeles Lakers have done. Let me explain. When I say this, I need to preference this. In 2008, Kobe Bryant had Paul Gasol. That was the first year that they got together, that 07-08 season, right? When they got together, it was expected and it was incumbent upon them to deliver the goods. But who did they face? They faced the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. They lost in the NBA Finals. To Laker Nation, that was an epic failure. To a lot of people who were watching basketball at the time, it was an epic failure. You know why? Because you had Shaquille O'Neal saying, Kobe Bryant, how does my ass taste? You remember that? Let me say it again. Kobe Bryant, how does my ass taste? What happened the next following year? What happened in the 08-09 season and the 09 and 2010 season? Kobe Bryant went and won back-to-back NBA titles. So higgity fucking hush. Now, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. When we look at the Golden State Warriors, in the 2015 and 2016 season, they lost to LeBron, Ramon, James. This was a team that had Stephen Curry. They had Draymond Green. They had Klay Thompson. But they lost to LeBron James. They lost to Kevin Love. And they lost to Kyrie Irving. And you know what they said? That team that went 72-9, that was an epic failure. It was an epic dud. What happened the next 2 years after that? They won back-to-back titles. You see where He Knows His Sport is going with this? So follow me while I'm taking you on this He Knows His Sport Slick Rick story. The Miami Heat. They lost in 2011. See, this is the problem with Rudy Poole and Plum Plum Brain. Classic Dolce and Troglodytes. Ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. They have prisoner of the moment tendencies and they forget. So lest you forget, let's have to remind you asses. Let me say it again. Lest you forget, let's have to remind you asses. What happened? LeBron had the biggest epic failure. He basically said at the end of that NBA Finals that he lost to the Dallas Mavericks when the Dallas Mavericks were up. When the Miami Heat was up 2-1 on them, and then they came back and closed their ass out 6. Well, you guys have to go back to your miserable lives. You guys have to go back to your insecure lives. Me and my family, we're going to be good. That was LeBron James' response. But they gave LeBron James a little break, right? They gave LeBron James little excuses, right? But then the Miami Heat came back and won what? Back-to-back NBA titles. You see where I'm going with this? You see where He Knows His Sport is going with this? You see how He Knows His Sport is bringing you that what? That heat and that fire and keeping the foot on the what? On the next. And keeping the foot on the what? On the next. You see where we going with this? Now the Los Angeles Clippers. They lost this year. At least they didn't lose in the NBA Finals, which is even worse. That's more of an epic failure than losing in the second round. Let me say it again. At least they didn't lose in the NBA Finals. They lost in the second round, which is more of a, the second round is less of an epic failure as opposed to the NBA Finals. It's worse to go farther and lose. There's more at stake. It's a higher pedigree. There's more sacrifices that were made, more injuries that were accumulated, more games that were played. The more closer you are to the dance, i.e. NBA Finals trophy. And to not win it and to be that close, at least the Los Angeles Clippers lost in the second round. So those saying that the Los Angeles Clippers are frauds, those saying that the Los Angeles Clippers are flippers, those saying that the Los Angeles Clippers don't know what they're doing. Hino's Sport gave you 3 examples in truth-telling fashion, in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion, visceral form that you can't debunk. Because the truth hurts, motherfuckers, but guess what? It will set your ass free. Let me say it again. The truth hurts, motherfuckers, but it will set your ass free. The bottom line is this. If the Los Angeles Lakers can have an epic failure in 2008 and bounce back in 09 and 10, if the Golden State Warriors can have an epic failure in 2015, 2016 and bounce back after a 72-9 season, mind you, and bounce back and get back-to-back NBA Finals championships, and then the Miami Heat lose in 2011 and get back-to-back in 2012, 2013, who's to say that the Clippers will not? So bottom line is this. Hino's Sport leaves you with, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. Stop that prisoner of the fiasco moment. Go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. This is Hino's Sport. Checking out.